Creepers left to rise, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to stimulate it. Spiders in the mirror and things can't be right. Back to the scene of a Friday night, to a blessed collision still frozen tight. Spear drinkers, Cupid and the sound of her first chime. And why did you argue? We're dreaming of those eyes, the best part of my life. And when we make love, babe, don't make a sound. The clock won't turn around. Ooh, you turn around. 2,000 little fires. And ooh, your circle is spreading. Slowing things down when I wanted to race. Catching up again when you try to chase. Feels like we're playing space. You always find a way to make up, right? Even when we're such a fly. Even when tensions run high. You gotta soften up your sleeves, girl. You're never enough, babe. Dreaming of those eyes.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. It's Saturday morning-ish. I think it's probably like 11:30 in the morning here, and I am just doing a little garage workout. I wanted to vlog this weekend. Like, I went back and forth about should I vlog this weekend, should I not? Usually I don't have enough time to get enough content in for a vlog on the weekend, but I just wanted to talk to you. I just felt like vlogging, and so I'm like, you know what, even if it's a short vlog, at least we'll have it up there. So I debated a lot about doing a Vlogmas in July where I vlogged every day and had bonus videos. Like, I love doing Vlogmas, even though it's a ton of work. It's pretty stressful, and sometimes I feel like this is crooked and it's driving me nuts. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, is it worth all that, you know? But I love doing Vlogmas, and so I really wanted to do that in July. I thought that would be fun, but like, the more I got thinking about it, the more I'm like, I just don't know. I just don't know that I can commit to that right now. I don't know, but you may see more vlogs from me. I don't know. This is a rambly intro. What else is new? Welcome to my channel. So I just thought I would bring you along this weekend and we could, you know, hang out, read some books and all that stuff. So I am currently reading a book it was on my July TBR. My July TBR just went up, that video. And it is The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. I believe that's it. I keep getting this title a little bit wrong. By Elizabeth O'Rourke. This is a contemporary romance. This is actually book 2 in the series, but I believe this is just a series of like interconnected standalones, so I don't believe that you need to read these in order. Although after I was reading this, like, I thought this was the book that everyone was raving about, and I believe this is the book that Zay from Witty Reads really liked. But I think it was a different book in the series that Chandler, I think, loves the first book. Anyway, so once I started listening to this, I only have like a few hours left of the audiobook. I went and bought the other two. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on in the series this weekend or if I want to pick something else from my TBR or just pick something randomly from my shelves. I don't know what's going to happen. But let me tell you what this book is basically about. So this book is about our heroine. And she is like a very famous, I'm not sure if she's like a pop singer, I think she must be, but she's really well known for having like really sexy lyrics and sexy music videos. Like, she's been on the cover of Maxim magazine. Like, her body and her appearance is a huge focus of this book. And but it's not necessarily bothering me because that's her profession, basically, you know. So anyway, she's in this relationship with this guy, and it sounds like it doesn't sound like, so they're kind of like broken up. They are broken up. They were in a relationship, but her family doesn't really know, and so his family doesn't really know. Wow, I am doing a great job of explaining this book. But so his family invites her to go on a vacation to Hawaii with them. The mom invites her. She wants her boys there with what she believes to be their girlfriends. The mom has cancer. She's been undergoing chemotherapy and isn't in a great relationship. So, hi. That's okay. That was my son just came out for a second. He's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were vlogging. I'm like, it's fine. So the mom is not in a great relationship. So the heroine decides to go on this trip, and at that point it seems like she is still in a relationship with the boyfriend. It's a little confusing to me, honestly, at first. So she goes on this trip. The boyfriend can't make it. He gets like in trouble with the law and can't go on this vacation. So she's there alone with her boyfriend's and ex-boyfriend's family, and she has this sort of tempestuous relationship, I guess, with her boyfriend's brother, who is very much a grump. He's a doctor, and sort of like she overheard him say some things about her when they first met, and that has kind of made her not like him, and he doesn't like her. But when you get his points of view, like, he is so absolutely attracted to her, like, and he like fights that constantly. And typically that's something that I don't like, when the hero focuses on the heroine's appearance. Like, that's the only thing that draws him to her. And like, I know that is biology, and it makes a point of saying that in this book, that that's like biology. Like, how could he not be attracted to her? But it's not bothering me here, and I think that's largely because that is her persona. Like, that's her calling card. Like, her product is her body, her physical appearance, and so she has made that marketable, so of course he's going to have a reaction to her. But it's not until they have a bunch of different run-ins when they're on this vacation where he starts to recognize that he may have feelings for her that transcend that physical, and he's very conflicted about that because of, you know, his brother, but also because of how he perceived her to be is so different than who she actually is. And the heroine struggles with like anxiety and panic attacks, and she kind of has a bad name for herself when she has one of those on stage, and she lets the press kind of run with the idea that it was because she was drunk and things like that. And so the who will be the hero, not her boyfriend, the man who will be the hero, the boyfriend's brother, knows that she wasn't drunk, that she was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, asthma attacks, and he's like, why are you doing that? And so he gets to see this little peek behind this persona of what she puts on to be, and he's starting to fall in love with that, and it's really, really good. I'm very invested in this author's writing. I got really excited about this author when I heard Jen from the Book Refuge give a review on her Patreon about Waking Olivia, and until that point I had been sort of like about this author, like I wasn't sure she was going to be for me. But Jen liked that book a lot. I think she gave it like 4.5 stars. But the thing that sold me on this author was how she talked about her writing style, and that she has a way that reminded her of Sarah Dessen, where she talks about the heroine's struggles and some things that are going on in their family, where it's more about what the heroine is going through and in conjunction with the relationship, and I really love that type of book. So yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. At this point, I think it could be a 4-star read. It's not absolutely wowing me, but I am really enjoying it. So I really like the author's writing style. I like how she's handling this character development, this relationship development. I like how she's dealing with the issues that the heroine has. And it sounds like she comes from a pretty dysfunctional family, may have been some abuse there. And I enjoy stories like that are sort of unpacking the trauma that people have gone through, as well as propelling a romance forward. Like, that's something that I love about Sarah Dessen books. Like, I read her in my early 20s. I didn't discover her as a teen because I was, too old. But I love her books. I still will read her books. I haven't read one in a very long time, but I love that type of storytelling. So that's what I'm excited about here. So this is my hair clip, by the way. Anyway, this is just a very low-key vlog. I'll keep you updated. I probably won't update you on this until I finish this book. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up next. I'm not sure if I'll go straight into another book in this series or if I want to change pace with like a historical or something like that. We'll see. So I hope to at least vlog. I'll probably include 2 books in this vlog, Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully it will be up on Monday. We'll see. I don't know. Editing is always the thing that keeps me back. So, all right, I'm going to finish my workout and then I'm going to go get a drink from the soda shop. The shops are kind of like Utah's thing. And they just have a variety of different sodas and flavorings and mixings. They have sugar-free, they have caffeine-free, like fruit flavors mix-ins. Like it's just a lot of fun, and I go there like every day. So we're gonna go get a drink in a minute and then read some more. So I may take Wanda for a ride in the car later because she needs to have more outings. I'll see you guys soon when I have more to update you on. Hello, my friend. Of course, as soon as I start the video, I have to cough. So, I finished The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke, and I really enjoyed this book. I am honestly really impressed with this author's writing, and now I really can't wait to get to the other books in the series and to read more from her. I know she's kind of been, like, popping up. I've seen a lot of people reading her, and, that's one reason why I wanted to give her a try, because I've been hearing so many good things, and I think that it's very well deserved. Like, she's an excellent writer. So I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. Like, this is a solid 4-star read. Like, it's not quite a 4.5, because usually if I give a book 4.5, I'm going to round it up to 5 stars. This was just a very solid 4-star read. It was very enjoyable, and I really, really loved it. I think that this book, because there were parts of this book where the heroine, Drew, was still, like, technically in a relationship with her boyfriend, because this is a romance between her ex-boyfriend's brother. There was, like, especially when they were in Hawaii, there was this added element of, like, angst and, like, tension when Josh, the hero, would get jealous when she was in this relationship with his brother, and that was very delightful. That was very fun. I liked that a lot. There was no cheating in this, just if that's a trigger for you, but there was, like, that, just a tiny little bit of tension, and that's something that I think that this author does really, really well, is that she really deals in subtlety very well. This is a really slow building romance. It's a slow building story. Like, you're sort of peeling layers back all the time for Drew's trauma that she experienced as a child and everything that Joshua was going through with his, like, he's a doctor, he goes to Somalia, his mom has cancer, like, he's dealing with a lot of things, and he is the type of hero that is very, like, gruff and brusque and a grump on the outside. And that sort of, he uses that to sort of hide his feelings for her. And, you know, that's a very common trope that the hero does, and I always fall for that, like, every single time. I don't know why, because, like, in real life, it's so much, obviously fiction is different than real life, obviously, but, like, in real life, it's so much nicer to just have nice, kind people. But there's something about reading a romance where the hero is just so grumpy and, like, taciturn, and it's all because he's trying to hide his feelings for the heroine or not admit them or whatever, and I just enjoy that dynamic a whole lot. I felt like Drew was a good heroine. I will say that, like, probably part of the reason I feel like this wasn't quite a 5-star read for me is mostly because so much of the issues that Drew had revolved around her being famous and being extremely wealthy. Like, there's talk of her donating $15 million, like she's a pop star. She has a lot of issues that, like, you know, rumors being spread about her, what people think about her, issues with her body. And that's just not something I super enjoy reading about. I find it, like, I found myself doing the same thing that the people who are judging her superficially for this persona that she puts on, like, I was doing that to this character because I'm like, oh, really? That's a poor little rich girl problem? Why don't you go cry about it, you know? Like, that's exactly my attitude about her a lot. And there were some moments where I felt more sympathetic with her, but I think that that's a difficult character for me personally to get behind because I just feel like that level of, like, privilege and wealth, it's really hard for me to be sympathetic. And I know, like, that's what one of her problems was in this book, is that she had to have this persona and people were judging her. And it was like, there were a few scenes in here where you see people just openly talking about, oh, you gained weight, or, oh, you don't look great. And that's gotta be very wearing. But at the same time, it's just not something that makes me super emotionally invested because those all just feel so superficial, and I don't know. So she wasn't one of my favorite heroines I've ever read. I really liked the hero. Probably my favorite parts of this book were when they were in Hawaii, and then also the end when they finally were able to get together. But this is definitely slow burn, so if you don't like slow burn, you might not like this. But if you, like me, you want a little more complexity in your relationship and you want some really nuanced layers to sort of, like, work through, I think you would enjoy this a lot, because I really did. And I may, like, who knows? I might sit on my thoughts on this book and then come back tomorrow and be like, actually, that's a 5-star, but I don't know. It's Saturday night, and I read that book in a day, and so, yeah, it was good. I really, really liked it. I honestly was much more, well, based on what I heard Zay say about this book, I knew I was going to like it a lot, and I wasn't let down at all, but I still was, like, kind of really impressed and not necessarily surprised, but kind of, like, just because I feel like this level of writing I haven't come across very often recently in indie romance, and so now I'm a huge fan and want to go read everything else that she's written. So yeah, I liked it a lot. And also I want to say, like, this is a really good example of a character who is built a certain way. She's a certain type of character. She's got a lot of privilege, and she sort of makes really stupid decisions, and she does things that seem selfish and that just, like, you as the reader, you're watching and you're like, that is a dumb decision. But at the same time, you know the character so well, and the author has done such a good job of building her. I'm sorry, this is wobbly. I'm holding the camera with my hand. That every action that she makes feels very true to her character. And so I feel like that is a really excellent quality of writing that Elizabeth O'Rourke put in here, but at the same time, that's not a character that I feel super emotionally invested in. But then again, also, if every character that I read about is my stereotypical version of a very relatable emotional character, then I would get bored. So it was a very fun reading experience. It was very interesting. I was engaged the whole day, and I just really, really liked it. So now, I want to pick one more book to include in this vlog. It's 4th of July weekend. I might not get this vlog up on Monday, it might be Tuesday, but I want to have one more book to include, and I'm just not sure what I'm in the mood for. Like, I kind of want to go back, because I read the second book in this series, and the couple from the first book was in here a little bit. I kind of want to go back and read the first book and get their story. But I also, I'm kind of in the mood for a historical, so I thought about picking up this Highlander one. But I also feel like I've read books from this publication before, and I don't know that I'm going to give it a 5-star, and I'd really love to have a 5-star book in this vlog, so I'm not sure. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try a few audiobooks that are on my July TBR, and I'm going to pick the one that I feel like I'm going to listen to, like, maybe a chapter or something. I'm going to pick one that I feel the most invested in, that sucks me in the most, and I'm going to go with that. So I'm not sure what that will be, but I'll let you know in my next clip what book I pick, obviously. So anyway, this was a good one. Really, really loved it. Thank you so much, Zay, for the recommendation. It was fabulous. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
The last breath of summer is blowing down our necks, and soon we'll wave goodbye to the fleeting bliss. Because you are like a tidal wave, just ripping up my life and living without a trace. And you know that I'm your silent patient. You know
Good morning, my friends. Okay, it is Sunday morning. I have started, I've started A Deal with the Devil by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I decided to go with that one because mostly, honestly, I just was really in the mood for it. Like, I really liked The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea, but it was not, I haven't let Wanda out. I feed them separately in the morning, so I let Kazi out first and feed him and then get Wanda. And of course she can hear me, so I started it mostly just because I was in the mood for it. So I'm gonna come back and film another clip once I bring her in here. Okay, I'm back. I've got Wanda out in here and I've got them separated for a minute, so hopefully they're quiet. So, I am really enjoying this book. I was instantly engaged. I feel like the writing quality in this is just so high, and she's doing a really good job of...
Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, good morning. Say good morning.
Oh, thank you. You cutie. My goodness. Sorry. So the author is just doing a really good job of having really good banter. Like there was one moment specifically in here that was like so funny. I was laughing out loud. So the basic premise of this is that our heroine needs money. She needs a lot of money. She's a writer. She got an advance on her book, and she has spent it to pay for her mother's medical bills. And so her friend is an assistant for a very famous plastic surgeon, and he offers her a temporary position while he is out of town, where she's going to get paid like $4,000 a week. And so she takes it, and the boss and her are definitely like antagonistic in the beginning. His name is Hayes, her name is Natalia, and they just have really good chemistry so far. It's just a really great read so far, honestly. Obviously that's the romance for this book, and I knew that because I read the second one first, but also I like how she is really having a good balance of like some comedic moments, like some relief from the serious tones in the book, because the heroine, she just recently broke up with a boyfriend of 10 years who cheated on her, and there is some mysterious trauma that the hero has gone through with his parents that isn't fully disclosed yet, and another woman, it sounds like. So I'm excited about it. I'm really, really liking it. I will say that one thing I've noticed in both of these books, and I mentioned it earlier, but I said, well, I can see why that's the focus, because she was famous and her body was her product, but this author does seem to slide in a little bit of a commentary about how just thinness in women and how that's very appealing, and I just feel like, like in the 90s and early 2000s, okay, but it just seems like it's not even necessary. It's not necessary to the plot, like to the story. It's not necessary to the characters in this book, and I just wish that it wasn't there. Like the heroine at one point is talking to somebody else about this job that she's gotten, and it's mentioned, like someone mentions her and says, well, she doesn't have any body fat on her, so of course he wants her. And I just like, that bothers me. I wish that wasn't just slid in there. It's unnecessary. It didn't add anything, and so it's not going to really affect my rating unless it becomes more central to the story, but I just wish that authors would stop doing that and acting like the only way that a woman can be attractive is if she doesn't have body fat on her.
Hi, baby. You want your friend? Huh?
So this was a chaotic update. I will check in, I don't know, maybe when I'm done. We'll see.
Oh, goodness. Say bye? Oh, okay.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the final clip in this vlog. Okay, so I finished A Deal with the Devil, and I did really enjoy it. I got a detail wrong in the plot. I thought it was her mom's medical expenses. It's her sister's. So, I enjoyed this immensely. I do think that the beginning was much stronger than the middle. The middle, well, I don't even know if it's the middle. I feel like just a teensy tiny bit of the pacing was off, and I think that can be really difficult to pull off great in a slow burn romance, and this is very slow burn. But I was very invested in these characters. I liked this heroine much better than the one in the second book that I read first. I felt like this heroine was very... like, she wasn't passive about her life. She was a strong heroine. She was also really easy to be sympathetic for because of the situation that her mom and her sister sort of forced her to be in, and the way that she very selflessly used her author's advance, because another detail I didn't mention is that she's a writer. She just got her first book deal, and it was kind of fun because she had a book deal, I think, well, there's this little conversation in there where she went to college and she was going to write literary fiction, and there's this line in there that says, like, write lines about people who are doing mundane things and being sad about it, and I was like, that's lit fic for sure. And she decides to instead write a book, like a fantasy romance book, that sounds very reminiscent of, like, ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So she uses her advance to pay for some medical bills, and that's how she ends up working for the hero, the reconstructive plastic surgeon, because she needs the money, and he's offering a lot of money to have someone come in and take over, like, all of his daily responsibilities. So she does that, and if she makes it to the end of the pay period, like a certain amount of weeks, she's getting an insane amount of money for just a few weeks worth of work, then she will have just enough to meet her bills and obligations. And of course, you know, as they are working together, and some of the things she has to do are, like, get rid of the women that he sleeps with, and there's a reason that he's, like, a womanizer, and I really, really loved that aspect of the story. I loved it because I feel like it's just so common to have a hero who is a womanizer for no other reason than he's a hot F-boy, you know, whether that's in a contemporary romance or a historical romance, and I really liked seeing the little bit of backstory that led him to do that. I felt like they just had great chemistry on page. They were just fantastic. And there was this one tiny detail about the heroine that she would routinely say, like, these dirty things just in everyday conversation when she and the hero were alone together. And this was, like, before they had gotten together. And it just, like, drove him wild. And it was so, so fun. Like, I just adored that. So I really loved this. I felt like it was a really good blend of, you know, background, dramatic, trauma issues that were carefully done, and it had a really beautiful slow burn romance that was very satisfying, and this hero is a very jealous and possessive hero too, very similar to the hero in the second book, and I just adored it. There wasn't a lot more, like, other than, like, that one scene in the beginning when she's, like, she's getting rid of a woman that he slept with, and she's a lawyer, this woman who he slept with. And she wakes up late and she's trying to get her out of the house. And this lawyer is like, oh, shoot, I have to be in court in just a minute. I can't wear this dress. And she looks at the heroine, who her name has completely left my head. Can you believe it? Of course you can believe it. And she's like, can I wear your outfit instead? And of course our heroine has bought this specifically for the job. So they trade clothes, and she ends up wearing this kind of very sexy red dress that you wouldn't wear as an administrative assistant, you know? And the interaction between the hero and the heroine when he sees her in that dress was so, so funny, and I loved it so much, and I was wishing there had been a little bit more like that, because I didn't want it necessarily to be, like, full-on goofy rom-com, but, like, that interaction was so funny. I was just like, this is fantastic. What a perfect moment, you know? I loved how they ended up together in the end. I loved that you were sort of questioning the whole time if they were going to end up together. I just really, really enjoyed this. This one was fantastic. So I'm going to give this 5 stars, and I think it's probably like 4.5, 5 star. It was great. I really, really liked it. So Yeah, I definitely recommend this series. I think if you like the type of books that I do that are maybe a little more nuanced and are a little slower to develop, instead of just like going with 10,000 pounds of trauma and drama, right? And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I can get on board with books like that, you know. But I don't find books like this very often, and this was just really, really satisfying to me, and I just absolutely adored it. So I would recommend you read them in order. I don't think you have to, but this couple did show up in the second book, and that was actually why I wanted to go back and read it, but it was great. So this book was 5 stars, and The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea was 4 stars, and honestly, I just really, really enjoyed them. And I really, like I mentioned before, the only reason that one was a 4-star for me was really just because of the type of heroine that was, that I just don't usually enjoy reading about. This heroine was my favorite type of heroine. Like, I loved her. I adored her. So it was great. It was a really good read. I loved it, and I can't wait to finish the series. There's one more book. I'm not going to include it in this vlog, but I am going to read it for sure. So, all right. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. If you made it this far and you want to leave me an emoji, oh, what should I have you leave this time? I'm running out of emoji ideas. How about you just leave me a lips emoji, maybe? If you have a lips or a heart. I don't know. Lips for, like, the plastic surgeon. Because he does a lot of lip injections, so. Alright, thanks, my friends. I'll see you in my next video.